Alright, this is a quick look at the Kabaya Candy Kit Transformers. These are obviously you can see Motormaster, Silverbolt, and Onslaught, the cores for combiners. They did a Defensor, they did a hot spot with the limbs a while back. And so now they've done these three. And in this series, these core bots are actually pretty decent. They're what I expect from a Kabaya kit of this size. They do come with some kits that have the limbs in them. Like here's a Brawl, but all the limbs function as two different things. Like this can transform. Like you can see this if this comes off. It should come off. I guess you have to split it maybe. Yeah, you can pull this off and see that becomes the cockpit of a shuttle. So if you want to build the shuttle for Onslaught, you can build and it goes together somehow, like something like this. I don't know. They're a mess is the point. The limbs are not great. But the cores themselves are pretty cool. And I'll go over the cores and I'll kind of go and talk a little bit about the limbs, but for the most part they're not amazing, unfortunately. They just try to do too much for their size. I think they're too over-engineered for being so little. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Let's go over the cores here first. So Motormaster, as you expect, is his little truck mode. He does come apart to transform. You have to pull the arms off versus flipping them out to the side. And then inside there, hidden, is his robot mode head. But you flip that up, you flip that open. This whole piece rotates up. It should rotate on that hinge, but you can see it popped off. Just like that, and then you bring the legs. A lot of the Kabaya kits parts form. Some of them parts form accurately to the old toys. Some of them you actually have to mess with. But then extend the legs here. Oh. You have to pop this off. Oh no, okay, transform this, you don't have to pop it off, you just flip it up. So that does actually transform accurately. And then plug his head on. Like that, and then plug his arms back on. Just like that. And then give him his pistol. Yeah, see, these don't hold, and also these don't hold together. Like the God Ginrai sets, Motormaster Prime, the Fort Max, they're all pretty sturdy. These guys I find are a little bit harder to get to stay together. But there's Motormaster in robot mode. A Silverbolt, we'll go ahead and pull his ramp off. Very simple. Flip that so it goes in there. Flip that down. To pull the arms out to the side. Legs come off like here, and then flip down and around and plug in right here. This piece slides down to form his chest. You got Silverbolt, he's got his rifle over here. And then Onslaught, again, pop the ramps off. You can give the ramps to the characters as shields, but put them together, flip his legs up, flip his arms down. And he's actually got a little bit of a neat gimmick in that his arms, this is a plug, it comes out very easily that holds this in, but you can slide his arms out. His fists actually slide down, which is kind of cool. And then he gets his gun as well. It's over. Where did it go? Oh, I think I gave Menasor his gun. Or Motormaster his gun. Yeah, Motormaster got his gun. There's Motormaster with his gun. They're all the same color, so it's kind of hard to... And so there they are as their main robot modes. And they all come with extra accessories over here that can combine, obviously, to make them into their torso mode. So we'll go ahead and we'll at least do some torso mode here. I think these limbs plug in over here, maybe. Not sure. And then he's got his chest plate that plugs in. And then the crotch plate that plugs into that. You can see there's peg holes up here for the limbs to plug into. And he's got a little cover for his face that covers up. And there's Superion's torso. Motormaster. Bring his legs out to the side. And this is where you can't just transform. You have to unplug this, and then there's a clip here on the bottom that you bring around and peg into the back like that. And then once that's done, he does have the Menasor head that plugs in right there. He's got the little car covered with stickers that plugs into his chest. He's got the crotch piece that pegs into the 2 peg holes there on the side of his thighs. Like I said, these don't hold together very well. And he can't stand up like that. But yeah, so there's the Menasor torso. We'll go ahead and just pop these off. They're just kind of decorative filler. Anyway, he does come with that, and he does come with his sword as well. Ah, we killed him. And Onslaught's actually kind of neat in the fact that you push these in, you fold these back. His legs actually swing out to the side. So you have a piece that comes out that allows it to swing out to the side like that, and these flip up. So you pull the whole assembly out of here, and then peg it in here like that, and then like that. And his combiner mode head does actually store inside of him, which is neat. Let's pop the, gotta get the turret off first. It's pretty painful, but yeah, his head actually stores right back there. And then it just goes over his face like that. Dun, 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 dun. He's got his chest plate. And you can store the ramp on his back if you want. You can plug in right there onto the back of the turret. And there's Onslaught's torso. I think he's probably the best torso mode of the bunch. And so there are the torsos. Now the limbs, like I said, here's the Brawl limb that can also function as, I think, the Jeep limb. They're all molded in the wrong colors. Like I'm using him and Vortex because they're molded close to the right colors. A couple of the jets for Superion are the right colors, but then you've got, like, Drag Strip is all purple, or all black, or all red and white, depending on which figure you use. Like, each mold has 2 different forms. Like, this is, like I said, the helicopter can turn into the space shuttle, and so on and so forth. But there's these little pegs here, like, they just flip out. They're not sturdy, they're not flimsy. They do like to pop out and get lost. Just like I said, they just try to do too much with too small of a kit here, I think, with the limbs. Like here, you can see there's a spot. The robot heads are on posts that size with, like, the head up here, and you have to plug it in there, and it doesn't stay in. Like, they're just not great for the limbs. Like, the torso modes are nice representations for Kabaya kits of the torsos. The limbs are just not recommended. Like, so you kind of have to see, this is supposed to plug into this hole here. You can see it's difficult, and so you're already having trouble getting these plugged in when it's already this weak tiny little pegs here. But it does plug in eventually. You can get something in there, and again, you can plug in that one actually went in pretty easily. So there's an idea of half a Bruticus with the right colored limbs. The other 2 limbs will not be the right colors because they didn't mold them. They try to get the most out of fewer molds, so they didn't mold them in the right colors. Like everything is either this color. There's the space shuttle in space shuttle mode in white and black. Then there's a purple and gray jet. So you get white and black, the green and gray, purple and gray, and then let's see if I can find one of the red and white. And then red and white. Those are the 4 color schemes that you get the different molds in. So like I said, you can kind of make a decent Superion, but you're not going to get the rest of them to really match up in colors. The individual limbs can apparently somehow combine to form a combiner mode without the cores, but again, like, these things are just the limbs are so much of a pain to deal with that I just can't recommend the limbs. The core is great. The limbs, some people may have ways to customize them to fix them to make them better, but I just really can't recommend the Gestalts as a whole, especially since, like, Kabaya has done some really amazing kits. Star Saber and Victory Leo are really nice. The big powered set with Die Atlas and Sonic Bomber and all of them are really, really good. The Fort Max kit, I highly recommend getting the Fort Max kit. There's an Overlord kit coming out that I'm really excited for because it looks like it's gonna be good. It's multiple kits that form the big Overlord robot. So yeah, like I said, if you're interested in the torsos, great. If you're willing to take the time, come on out of there. If you're willing to take the time to repaint a lot of these tiny kits to match the right colors, you might have some fun with the limbs. But like they really are just not satisfying at all. And I've said that enough times now that I'm going to quit. But yeah, that's the basic gist of it. So yeah, they're the Kabaya core limbs, cores with the limbs, and like I said, keep an eye out for some Kabaya kits. Maybe not these.